Hey everyone, it's Jonathan here, founder of Driving Academy, and welcome to part 3 of the How to Shift series with Driving Academy, right? So if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure you subscribe because we're always going to be coming out with some free content that's going to help you get on the road to freedom, get you that CDL license that you want, and ultimately live the life that you want as well. So in part 3 of this training, we're going to be discussing specifically how to do a proper downshift for a manual transmission in a tractor trailer. This is probably one of the most difficult skills anyone has to learn when it comes to actually getting their actual CDL road test passed if they want to take the test in a manual transmission. Now, if this is too freaky for you, no big deal. We do have automatic transmissions available for you as well. The only downside there is if you take the test in an automatic truck, you're going to have an automatic restriction on your license, which means you can't drive any manual transmission vehicles at all. That being said, we always encourage everybody to at least give this thing a shot. We have our state-of-the-art driving simulators at most of our locations across the country, and this actually gives you a lot of confidence and a lot of training needed to get comfortable with that muscle memory on how to shift properly. So in part 1 of the training video is all about what is shifting, what is the 10-speed transmission, what the gear patterns look like. In part 2, we discussed how to do a proper upshift. And then now part 3, we're going to discuss how to do a proper downshift. So if you haven't seen those other 2 videos, make sure you go to our YouTube channel and find them around to see exactly what you're missing out on, because you're missing out on a lot of good stuff there. So let's talk about downshifting. What is downshifting? That just means lowering the gears. So we talked about in this vehicle is going to be a 10-speed transmission. So that means you have 10 different gears to get into. So downshifting just means you're in 9th and you want to go down to 8th. Now, there's only 2 real reasons why you would ever want to downshift. Reason number 1 is you want to slow the vehicle down. So you're coming up to a red light or traffic's getting slower or something like that. You want to slow the vehicle down, you're going to downshift. Number 2 is you want more power for the vehicle and less speed. So for instance, if you want to kind of go up a hill that's pretty steep, one of the things that you have to understand is the higher the gears you have, the more speed, but the less power. So that means you might have to, in order to actually get all the way over the hill, you might have to start downshifting the vehicle to make sure you have enough power and enough torque to kind of get you there. It is kind of crazy driving an 18-wheeler that's 80,000 pounds going up a hill, and all of a sudden you're in 10th gear, and instead of speeding up, you actually start slowing down. You start slowing down. And then you can potentially get to the point where there's not enough power at all, and you just start rolling back. So it's super, super important to understand the skill of downshifting, and especially when you're going down a hill, you want to make sure that you're using the braking effects of the engine. Because if you know how to downshift properly and you really understand how to look ahead, you can actually avoid a lot of accidents and really kind of not wear out your brakes at all, because you'd be using the braking effects of the engine most of the time. So, downshifting, let's talk about it. What you're going to have to understand is you understand the gear pattern if you watched part 1 of the training. If you haven't, make sure you check that video out first. Now we're going to be talking about the footwork, what you're going to have to do in order to actually downshift. So we're already in 10th gear, T-bar is up. Now we're time to downshift to 9th gear. So what we're going to do, half clutch into neutral. While we're in neutral, which is going to be the craziest thing ever, is going to be you're going to give it some gas. And by giving it some gas, I mean just pump the gas with your foot, just like that, right? Now if you're used to driving a car, this is completely different than a car, because in a tractor trailer you have what's called a non-synchronized transmission. So you're going to give it some gas and then half clutch into 9. Let me show you how to do that again. So now we're 9, we're going to go to 8, half clutch neutral, gas, half clutch to 8. Right? Clutch, gas, clutch, clutch, gas, clutch, and now we're in 6th. Remember, half clutch, go into neutral, give it gas, and then you're going to put in the clutch. Now, if you don't understand it, no worries, we're going to explain it in a very little bit. Let's just kind of get through the motion. Now we're in 6th gear, time to go to 5th gear. We're going to put the T-bar down, clutch, gas, clutch, clutch, gas, clutch to 4, clutch, gas, clutch to 3, clutch, gas, clutch to 2, clutch, gas, clutch to 1. Alright, and that's how you downshift. This is going to be clutch, gas, clutch, clutch, gas, clutch. If you're a good ballroom dancer, this should be a piece of cake for you. But if you're like most people out there that can't dance, then this is where the simulator really kicks in. So, now you have to understand what the rules are on how fast we have to shift and all that stuff too. So the only downside when it comes to actually downshifting, teaching how to downshift, is I have to upshift first. So while I'm upshifting to the different gears, I'll kind of explain to you why the whole clutch, gas, clutch thing works out the way it does, right? So the main thing you do have to understand is that when you're dealing with non-synchronized transmissions, the RPMs is what's going to teach you how and when to shift. So when you're shifting up, you're using two clutches, right? So clutch, clutch, gas. And when you're shifting down, it's clutch, gas, clutch. So I'm working my way up. Now I'm going to 6th gear, giving the gas up to 1600 RPMs. If you haven't seen the part 2 video, make sure you check that out. I told you 16 and 1200 are the main two things. So at 1600, I'm actually shifting into neutral, and at 1200, I'm going to be going into the next gear. With downshifting, we're using the same exact two numbers, 1200 and 1600. Remember, you want to slow down the vehicle. So at 1200, it's telling you to shift to neutral, and then when you're neutral, it's time to give a gas to 1600 to shift to your next gear. Because the way to think about it is almost like a step ladder. So in order for you to kind of go down the levels, you have to kind of start at the top of the next gear level. So at 1600, we're going into 9th, we're almost going to be at 10th, and then I'll start showing you what downshifting looks like. But while we're doing that, play some Jeopardy music and answer this question. What are the two numbers in the RPMs that are super important in shifting? Is it A, 2000 and 1500? Is it B, 1000 and 2000? Or is it C, 1600 and 1200? And the correct answer here is C. Congratulations. All right, so now we finally made it up to 10th gear, and now it's time to show you how to downshift. So like I talked about, 1200 RPMs. So if I'm on my dashboard over here, 1200 is going to be 2 lines after 10. If I'm looking at my training manual right over here, it's going to be right around 1250. So what makes it actually harder is if you want to speed up the slow down process, right? So you can just come off the gas and things are just going to start slowing down automatically. Just think about like in your car, come off the gas, things are going to slow down. If you want to slow down faster, you're going to have to give it a little bit of brake. So we're going to give it a little bit of brake to let things slow down, clutch into neutral at 1200, gas up to 16, and then clutch into 9. Super complicated. Don't worry if you're nervous, we're going to teach you all this stuff. So at this point, we're going to give it some brake. We're slowing down the vehicle, getting to about 1200 RPMs. At this point, now we're going to clutch into neutral, gas to 16, I didn't make it all the way there, and then clutch into 8th gear. Now, the higher the gears, the longer you have to kind of wait in order to kind of get things going. You'll start seeing the smaller the gears actually are, the lower the gears, the faster my footwork actually has to get going. So I'm going to give it some brake again, get it to about 1200, we're almost there. Clutch, gas, clutch. Now remember, I'm not hitting the gas for too long. I'm giving it a good amount of gas, raising those RPMs high, and then getting into that next gear. So I'm going to start slowing it down again, 1200, clutch, gas, clutch. And you heard that grinding sound, that means that I didn't hit the mark on the 1600. So at this point, now we're going to start getting serious. T-bar's down, I'm going to go to 5th gear. It's time to get clutch, gas, clutch, boom. Now you can start seeing it's slowing down much faster on its own because the gears are getting smaller. So clutch, gas, clutch. Don't be afraid to hit that gas. Clutch, gas, clutch. Now we're in 3rd gear, right? So now we're moving fast. And then clutch, gas, clutch. We're in 2nd. Clutch, gas, clutch. We're in 1st. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly how you downshift properly. So you now know the footwork, you now know the timing. It is super important for you to understand both of those things. And the reality is, downshifting all the way down to 1st gear is probably never going to be a practical thing to do, because once you get to about 5th gear, 4th gear max, you can pretty much just put it in neutral and kind of just use the clutch and come to a full stop because you're going slow enough. But just to get that muscle memory going, this is always a great tool to practice with here at one of the best CDL schools in the country. Not one of the best, but the best CDL school in the country. And if you're looking to actually get behind the wheel of one of our simulators or on the real truck, on the real road, we also help you out with that as well. Visit our website, cdldrivingacademy.com, and check out a location near you. Our mission is to help 1 million people just like you get themselves on the road to freedom. And the cool thing is, we're open up 7 days a week. You get to pick the schedule around your needs. And number 2 is, all you need to get started is $500 down, and we can work out an interest-free payment plan for the rest, which makes it super, super affordable for you to actually change your career and get yourself that CDL license. So this has been part 3 of the entire How to Shift training program that we've actually given to you for absolutely for free. People have paid me thousands of dollars for this knowledge itself. But the next step for you, if you did like this, like I said, subscribe to the channel, give us a comment, show us some love, and please, if you really want to take this thing serious, come on into one of our locations. come in and do a school tour. We'll actually give you a free demo on our simulator itself. When you become a student here, you actually get to use this a whole lot to get yourself comfortable. And then of course we're going to put you on the real truck, on the real road with one of our instructors to make sure you know what it takes to actually drive and be safe out there on those streets. So one more time, check out our website, cdldrivingacademy.com. Drop us that like. My ego needs to see it. Thank you very much. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. If you want to get your CDL license, you know where to go. Check out our website, cdldrivingacademy.com, right over there. And if you like this video, you'll definitely like this video right over here. So make sure you check that out. But before anything else, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you soon.